Jacqueline Tynes. I'm with Backstage, and so excited to be talking to you both about Palm Royale, especially Palm Royale season two. It is so funny and campy, and always makes me want to have a grasshopper martini after I'm
Me too.
watching, or maybe during. To kick things off, I want to say the costumes are so good. Do you have a favorite costume from season two?
Oh, wow.
Oh, I do. Uh it's gonna sound like I'm teasing, but it's the very last scene in the very last episode. You have to watch.
Yeah.
It was a vintage YSL dress, and it was so beautiful, and it was old. It was like thin, and I was afraid I was gonna like break it. It was one of the most beautiful dresses.
Oh,
Yes, I loved it so much. And I just think like sometimes and when you wear those clothes, especially those really kind of like fancy dresses, you're like, who wore this and where were they going? And I don't know, I just imagine women sitting around with like
oh.
martinis and stuff.
And I loved your first look, the yellow.
Oh
Oh,
yes.
is so incredible.
Not the most comfortable,
I bet.
I was gonna say that was my
but that's okay.
fave.
That's okay.
Oh
Personal
my
favorite was
gosh.
the yellow. It was so good.
Yeah. I mean, and partly just because of what you do in it too, which is incredible.
Thanks, Laura. I loved your outfit in the like the winter ski outfit that you had on. I love that outfit.
Yeah.
I know. I feel like the outfit in the first episode with the musical number was such a great way to kick off season two. What was it like filming that scene?
Well, I mean, we've been working with Ricky for a long time and know him very well. And when he got on stage with that microphone, you're like, oh, this is his lane. Like he was so like the crew just coming out from the different rooms to watch. I mean, it was like to watch him up there and do his thing that he's so good at and comfortable with. It was really It was really something just to see that side. I mean, I've seen him perform before, but I don't know, there was something about him doing that in the show. It was really, I was like, wow, this is really special.
I agree. I love that. I was like, yes, we're starting fast and powerful, and I loved it. Speaking about, Palm Royale and the costumes, it's set in the late 60s and it features this very vibrant aesthetic. What was both of y'all's favorite part about stepping into that world?
Well, I mean, first, because we have the luxury as producers of seeing the build toward the moment of getting to be the actors showing up, we got to watch, as you mentioned and noted, Alex Friedberg's work in the costumes, but also John Carlos and the production and set design is bonkers. It's like, you think you're walking, and because we got to also shoot some of it on stages, like you're walking into the 1940s in this like grand elaborate sets that are of another time. And it was such a privilege that you do kind of step out of our lives as actors and now into this entire other world, which is like this, to me as an actor, this like delicious cheat into the characters we're playing, because they've done so much for us to build a universe around us. But just as producers, to watch, the crafts women and men that put their love, the prop department, everybody just put their whole heart into it. The people who are finding the cars, and you can't even believe it, right, Kristen? We'd show up
Yeah.
and be like, oh my God, this is
And
amazing.
everything, yeah, and everything is so deliberate. Like Alex and John work so intensely together. There was a scene we did where we had to go to, I forget where it was, but and John was there and he's like, "Did you notice the tiles?" And the tiles were in three different colors and they were the color of my dress, Allison's dress and Leslie's dress just on the floor. Like everything, they work together so well. What I'm wearing and the color behind me is deliberate in every single shot, and my mind is blown. I love hearing little details that I wouldn't even notice. It's so great.
I know I love the details. I think that really ties in everything. And it could be a small detail, but you mentioned a tile, it just draws everybody into that scene. Um, which I love. For those, I know it's set in the late 60s. There may be some modern mannerisms we have. Were there any ones that you noticed that you maybe had to change for your character to fit into this time frame?
Hmm. Well, I did hear that like it was proper for a woman when they sat to not cross their legs, but to cross their ankles. So that was like a thing for me because I always cross my legs and I always had to like uncross them and cross my ankles. I don't know if that's what you mean.
Yeah, no, yeah, no, I just anything
That
I
was a physical thing that I had to change.
know.
But I
um,
also feel like Kristen just, Maxine is this, the minute you started watching from season one, you knew her. She was your sister, your best friend, or the woman you tried to avoid at a party, depending upon your feelings about her as
Those
you
are the
got to
characters I
know her.
love.
And she is so infectious. But now that Kristen, by great blessing, is my family and I love her so much, I don't see her in Maxine. It's so, it's incredible. I was raised by actors. I should get used to this, but I get on set and just find this whole other person show up. And so every mannerism, the nature, the way she would laugh, the way she would get angry is just, this whole other being. It's like such an incredible character she's created. And the fact that now in season two, we get to be so in love with her and rooting for her. But we needed the first season to kind of go, holy shit, this girl is really getting it wrong. Is she nuts? Why is she doing this? Why is she with this person? What does she do? All the questions you start to get answered. You build your trust as an audience. Did you guys feel that? So that season two, you're all in. You're experiencing it with her, as opposed to for me in season one, I was kind of an outside viewer getting to know her choices.
Definitely. I feel like the mask sort of fell in season
Mhm.
two, where we got to see her heart, which I want to speak to you, Kristen, and how you did that. I mean, I know in season one, she's naturally just such a quirky, lovable character, but in season one, she's really trying to do anything she can to get into this elite crowd of Palm Beach. Were there any specific choices that you made in order for viewers to see her heart outside of the ambition?
I think the biggest thing for with season two is honestly, and even season one was her identity was in her marriage. And I think she felt like, and it's of that time, like you get married, you have kids, and then you just, that's your life. And her whole life was Douglas, her whole identity was Douglas. And the moment that went away, she was kind of like, okay, well now who am I? And she had to keep that love for life and trying to be something she's not a little bit. But I feel like after she sees Douglas for who he is, there was something about her that shifted a lot. And so I felt like a little bit season one, you are seeing someone who's trying to be someone that she's not. And I feel like in season two, she's trying to be figure out who she is and be that person. That
Mhm.
makes sense.
Totally. I feel
Yeah.
like season one, that finale, that speech is so great. It has like, she's funny, but she's all this is heartbreaking at the same time. And in season two, you kind of see her trying to, what is her life without Douglas, I guess. And you see her more her choices are just a little bit different than they were in season one, which is fun to as
Yeah.
a viewer to watch, definitely. Um, I spoke with the casting director, Carrie Barden, a year or so ago about season one's casting process. And we chatted a lot about matching talent with the energy of the all-star cast. And he said the art of listening is really key. What advice would you give to an actor who's trying to get better at listening?
Wow.
Hmm.
That's
Sorry,
a
throwing you on the
I
spot.
know that's
no, I mean, to me, that's like, that's the soul work,
that, yeah.
right? That's like meditate, learn to be in nature, learn to have healthy relationships in your family with, if you have children. Like, I don't think you can learn for 1 second as an actor to listen if you don't know how to do it as a person. Because we've worked with actors who aren't listeners and they're great actors.
I
I
love
mean, you either have empathy or you don't. You either are a listener or you aren't. And so if you're really searching to be a better listener, you know, and maybe do some stand up, Kristen, what do you think? Like, I mean, I'm like,
I don't know. I've never done stand up.
I'm
But
like,
I think that's right on, and also letting go of any preconceived way you think you're going to deliver your line, which is like kind of technical, because sometimes I feel you can get caught in that rehearsal, or I want to say it like this, but then you're not really, really listening to the other person because you don't know how they're going to say their line. And so you have to really trust yourself and the other person. But yeah, I like Laura's answer better.
no, I loved your answer.
I love both. Was there a specific scene that you remember was that really key in on listening to one another, or um, anything that you can remember?
It's hard to pick out a specific scene. I mean, I would say generally probably those more emotional ones. Sometimes you surprise yourself and you get emotional when you didn't think you would, or the other actor starts to do something that you get pulled into. So I think a lot of times I think those emotional scenes they never really end up how you think they're gonna go. I mean, you could even say in the script, so and so starts to tear up, and maybe it comes a line before or after, and there's just something you have to be sort of organic about it.
Well, I can't go without this interview talking about Carol Burnett. She's such a
Ah,
That's
legend.
okay.
please let us.
After such a storied career, people might think they know what to expect from her. What was a moment working with Carol Burnett where she truly surprised you?
Every moment. The thing that has surprised me the most, it doesn't surprise me based on her nature and, who she shares herself to be in her books and her public appearances and her service. But so I should have assumed, but her professionalism is what just kept shocking me because a woman now in her 90s was always, as Kristen knows, the first person on set. And that taught me a lot about being a professional and what it inspires in everybody else, and her generosity in time with anybody who wanted to talk or share a story or take a photo or have time with her patience. Um, you know, she teaches people about like the grace of not just a legendary career, but celebrity also. There's a real humility that she carries everywhere she goes. And that was incredible to learn from and watch and admire. What about you, Kristen?
Well, I mean, obviously, growing up watching her, it was Carol Burnett on a stage talking to the audience, um, inspiring me for sketch comedy, doing all these amazing characters. So I knew her in that way. And I was, again, kind of like what Laura was saying, not surprised, but overwhelmed with how warm she is. And that like I tear up a lot when I'm with her because she'll just grab your hand and she says I love you, and she's a light on the set. Like she knows people's names. She says good morning, she says goodbye. She's so incredibly warm. And I think that was something that again, I wasn't like shocked that she was like that, but I guess I surprised myself with how emotional I get around her, because I think Laura will agree. We've just had many, many conversations, nights with her, dinners. She has incredible stories. But at the end of it, sometimes it's just this look she gives you. And there's a scene, I hope I'm not spoiling anything, between Laura and Carol that is really special and emotional. Yeah.
And all because of her incredibleness, but also that Abe so beautifully, our showrunner, really wants to pay homage to her and what she's meant to all of us, and um, to seamlessly create tribute while someone's just being true to a character. It's like,
That's
I really love that in this season. And man, just can't believe we get to know her, right, Kristen?
I know. Yeah, I know.
I know I loved her storyline too in season 2. She's, able to have more lines now. So
She's able to
And
talk.
she's
yeah,
incredible. She's
she's so good
incredible.
every scene.
And she shows up off book and she's making choices, and she's an incredible, incredible actor. Yeah.
Totally.
Again, duh, but
Yeah.
It's so
to
fun
watch it is really something.
and so fun to watch her in Palm Royale too. It's just it's so I love her role. I love her dynamic with everyone, and you just really are trying to figure out her out the entire time.
I know. And it's fun to see her too play that sort of mean, controlling person, because it's like, talk about not being like that in real life at all. It's
Right, you were
pretty
saying it's
crazy.
like the opposite.
It's the opposite.
Well, I think the chemistry also between your characters is huge part of what makes the show so compelling.
Thank
After
you.
spending so much time in the world of Palm Royale together, what was something that surprised you that you learned about working with each other?
That we both love chicken pot pie so much.
Yes.
We did discover that this year.
Love
And that's
that.
it. That's it.
Just chicken Popeyes.
I honestly like a similar thing to what I just said about Carol. Like I've had to do emotional scenes with Laura, and sometimes I get a little overwhelmed because I love her so much as a person, and I am grateful that the story allows these two characters to have such a deep love for each other,
Yeah.
and while being so different, but like underneath it, kind of exactly the same. And I mean, I love doing those scenes. I mean, I get to work with Laura Dern. It's crazy.
I get to work with Kristen Wiig. And the characters do, I mean, with everything else going on and every other world that Maxine enters, the one thing that I love selfishly is that when she's with Linda, like, that is a safe place. These women would do anything for each other. They really are protectors of each other in a way that they don't have with anybody else in the same in that same level of trust. And I'm like, is Kristen just doing that because our characters are this? I thought, by like the first or second episode. And now, no, she's my family. She's who, I want to talk to when times are hard, like that she is my happy place. She was my happy place on Saturday Night Live. So the fact that she has given me that in life is just incredible.
Oh, I feel the same.
We just want to do more.
Yeah.
And have more chicken pot pies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want more chicken pot pies?
Got it.
Speaking about SNL, Kristen, how did your background to comedy inform your approach to the series?
I think it's kind of a boring answer maybe, but just developing a character in that with SNL, it's you have, 3 minutes to move a certain way and look a certain way and have the wig and have the voice or whatever. So I knew going into it that I wanted to make her um a little more like fleshed out. I didn't want it to just be me with a blonde wig, you know what I mean? I wanted to kind of find that. So I think SNL did help me um kind of figure out what those things are that I want to add to a character, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, like some of the comedic stuff in there, but yeah, I think that, yeah.
Season.
Also,
Oh,
I
sorry.
wonder, I mean, now I'm asking a question, but I wonder about your training in terms of just being given material 2 minutes before. Because this show, Kristen is thrown stuff all the time. I mean, it's radical. And it's not, and it's like, here's 10 pages for tomorrow that we really feel, or like this afternoon that we thought, just to be able to do that as the lead of something it's so radical. But I wonder if that was something you became used to.
I mean, that's a good question. I do think there's a speed element to it with SNL. You have the mindset like you can do anything in 5 minutes, anything. You could rewrite a sketch, you could get prosthetics on and be in a different costume. Like you can do it. So I don't know. I don't even know how to answer that, but I SNL did teach me that. So I think I do have that in my brain of like, you or maybe it's just like you have to do it. Like they're waiting. Crew's out there. Yeah, I don't know.
But it's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah,
Oh,
it
thanks.
really is. Especially season two, there's a moment where you are playing two characters. So that was very
Yes.
fun to watch. Was that hard to film?
It was so fun. I mean, I didn't know how I was going to make her be different and also similar, but yeah, that was like, and Abe and I talked about that a long time ago as far as like what those shows and those movies kind of did back then, like thinking of, Bewitched or whatever. Like sometimes they would just take the same actor and put a wig on that's a different hair color and be like, your long lost twin. So we kind of thought like that would be fun, and it's weirdly something I've always wanted to do. I have a strange bucket list. Um, so yeah, it was so fun. It was so fun.
I loved the chewing of the gum. That was
Yeah,
really.
thank you.
It
Thank you.
You both have been in the industry so long, and I know our readers love hearing advice from you. So, what is something that someone told you when you were just starting out, that still resonates with you that you think an actor would want to hear?
Gosh, Laura?
I mean, I think Kristen's probably heard me say this, but it is true. My earliest advice from my fourth grade teacher, Mrs. White: keep your eyes on your own paper. Most valuable lesson, for sure. It's super noisy for young actors. I mean, beyond noisy, because Kristen and I did not start with social media,
Right.
where, there's even more comparison and more drive to a thing and a word called branding. And like so much feels like the antithesis of being your most vulnerable, showing your flaws, being unique to yourself, being an eccentric, like all the things that we kind of built careers exploring, do not feel like what the focus is right now in terms of the noisy focus. So hopefully people can just stay true to themselves as they're exploring, you know, their craft, their voice, themselves as people.
Yes, I would say that only you have your voice. And I think sometimes when we do something or even audition for something, we tend to think of like what we think they want us to do. And I I don't know, someone told me that just a long time ago that no one else has what you do or what you say. So whatever that is, what that thing maybe that you think is like the weird part of you or whatever, like show that, lead with that because that sort of because that's you expressing yourself and no one else can do that.
I love that.
Beautiful.
Well, that's all I have for today. That was, I think, a great way to wrap things up. Again, this has been so fun to talk with both of you. You are so fun to watch in Palm Royale, and I know our readers are going to be so, so excited to hear from you both, and just happy that you were able to find the time with me.
Thank you, Jacqueline, so much.
You.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
And thanks for letting me see Kristen.
Yes, love
Yeah.
you.
I love you.
Talk to you soon. Okay,
Bye.
bye,
Bye,
guys.
Bye,
guys.
guys.